report.
Okay, so noted.
Thank you. Elaine, who do you work for?
I work for the Department of Family and Protective Services.
And what do you do for them?
I'm a family-based safety services worker.
Thank you. Um, I'm going to go ahead and ask you for an update on the children.
Yes,
Would
ma'am.
you like to start with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So, Aaliyah is doing well. She's kind of, the last time we talked, she had just returned to Kia's care and was kind of talking about going back to public school, but at this time she's still doing some online schooling. When I visited with her at the house, she is a little bit more quiet and reserved. Doesn't say a whole lot, but Kia has mentioned that she feels like she's struggling with the fact that the other kids are still out of the home. I spoke with Kia about her potentially doing some counseling, and she didn't feel like Aaliyah would engage even if we were to send her to therapy. And so that's kind of where we're at with Aaliyah. Like I said, she is very quiet and is just kind of there at the house. Um, in regards to Odyssey, she is still in placement with her grandmother, Mary Moore. She's doing well in school. There was an incident where she had gotten into a fight with another student, but that has resolved and she's doing fine now. She has spoken about having a desire to visit Kia, to go and visit her on the weekends, but has indicated she still wanted to stay with her grandmother. And from my understanding and speaking with Kia and with Mary, they both came to an agreement that that's what they would do, that Odyssey would continue in Mary's care, and then she would come on the weekends to visit with Kia, pending approval at this hearing. Let's see. As far as Amaya has continued to be with her dad, Andrew Miles, and DeSoto. My contact with her is usually just via Zoom visits. There's another worker who goes out there and sees her regularly. They say she's doing well. She's attending ballet, and she had kind of talked about a recital she had coming up in December. She has been the one kid in that household of those three kids, the Miles children, Ja'Cory and Malaysia and Amaya. She's the one child who's really voiced a desire to return to Kia's care. She has continued to speak about the violence between Kia and her boyfriend, Kevon, um, while she's in therapy. And she's also continued to talk about witnessing Ja'Cory and Malaysia and the abuse that they've suffered by Kia and just not wanting to be witness to that anymore. But she really does miss her mom and has voiced a strong desire to return to Kia's care. Ja'Cory, he's also still there with his dad, Andrew. He's doing really well in school and has showed quite a bit of improvement in his grades while being out there. And he's also attending counseling with the same therapist that Amaya is going to. He has been pretty adamant about staying with his dad. All three kids did have a face-to-face visit with Kia this last Friday, and the therapist visited with the children after that visit, and Ja'Cory has continued to report not wanting to return to Kia's care because of the abuse that he suffered. He does talk about the domestic violence as well between Kia and her boyfriend. From my understanding, that visit did go good this last Friday between Kia and the kiddos. As far as Malaysia, she is still there as well with her dad. Um, One thing that I have noticed during the visits that I've monitored every Friday is that Malaysia and Ja'Cory hadn't really been getting on those visits. It really was Amaya. Up until this last visit, not this Friday, but the previous Friday, Malaysia actually engaged and was sitting through the entire visit with Kia. During that time, she did indicate that she wanted to return to Kia's care, that she missed Kia. And so, let me see. But she has continued to voice being worried about going back home and potentially being abused again by Kia.
Guys, this hearing opens with a tense update as early cracks begin to show. You can feel the room shift as the worker outlines quiet fears no one can ignore.
She does mention that she was taking like the brunt of the physical abuse, and that has been verified by some of the children in the home. I did speak with the school down here because I spoke with Kia about the outcries that Malaysia was making, and she said it was really because she was acting up in school and then coming home, and then she would physically discipline her. Um, the school here also verified that she was having quite a bit of outcries while she was going to school here in the Amarillo, or quite a bit of disciplinary issues at school while she was here. Since she's been living where she currently is, there have not been any behavioral issues in school there, from my understanding. Um, as far as Anaya, she is doing well. She's attending school. She's on the hip hop dance team here here at Amarillo High. She's working on getting her driver's license soon, and she's been attending counseling, but has been really slow to really open up to that therapist. But she's had a couple of missed appointments, but Kia's been communicative with that therapist and making sure that she reschedules. So.
Thank you, Elaine. Can we get an update on, well, actually, let me ask a different question first. Did anybody else attend that visit this past Friday that was in person between Kia, Malaysia, Jacory, and Amaya?
So, as far as the Kia, she did have other children with her. She had Zanaya and Aaliyah, and she also had Junior Desmond go down there with her for the visit. And then we had a worker that monitored that visit, and the therapist was there at the visit as well.
Okay. And is that therapist the therapist of Amaya, Jacory, and Malaysia?
Yes, ma'am.
Did that therapist make any recommendations as far as services for the kids or for mom that we need to ask the court about?
Yeah, she felt that she did say that in speaking with the kids that they do miss their mom, and they've talked about missing her and eventually wanting to return to her care. But the therapist, she does feel like the kids have quite a bit of trauma. She indicated that there's a lot of things that they're still needing to work through, including she visited with Kia and she felt like Kia needed to continue in therapy as well, and that there needed to be some sort of family counseling before reunification.
Okay. Is there a certain time frame we're asking the court to consider family counseling to begin, or are we holding off until a recommendation from mom's therapist? What's the plan, Elaine?
So I spoke with mom's therapist, and she indicated that she would be working with Kia more like on some parenting, and they have an anger management curriculum as well that she said she can work with her on, and kind of deciphering like the appropriate discipline and inappropriate discipline with the kids. And so I think once she starts making headway with that, and then the therapist out there with the kids is in agreement, I really think that it's something that's going to have to be based on the children. And I mean, I couldn't really put a time frame on that because it's important that they work through the concerning outcries that they've made before reunification.
All right, Elaine, let me ask you an additional question. In regards to mom's therapist saying that she has an anger program that mom can work through, does she intend to work that anger management program into her individual therapy with Ms. Johnson, or is it a separate program with family support services?
It's going to be through the therapy, through the individual therapy.
Okay, and are we asking the court to order that today?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, what type of program?
Anger management program through the mother's individual therapy.
But for mother alone, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Through her therapist. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Okay. How is Miss Johnson doing on her services?
Service wise, she's doing really well. I think at this point, the only thing that we had left as far as services was the individual counseling. And the last I spoke to the therapist on November the 5th was that she had attended 3 out of the 8 to 12 sessions that she recommended. So we're still at the beginning stages of the therapy, but she seems to be doing well in that.
Okay. Have you been visiting the home of Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
How are Odyssey and Zanaya doing back at home?
So Odyssey is still with her grandma. It's actually Zanaya and Aaliyah that are home. They
I
seem
apologize.
It's okay. They seem to be doing well. We have had some concerns with there being another resident that was living in the home. And I've spoken to the girls about that.
Okay, and who was that resident?
So shortly after the last hearing that we had, I was informed that there was another male that was living in the home that had just discharged from TDCJ and was on a leg monitor. When I spoke with Kia about it, his name is Brandon Rice. She indicated that he was just a friend during our initial visit, and that he was living in the back house, which she claims is a separate residence. I did ask her for documentation showing that that's actually a different residence, but I've never received anything of that nature. Later on, in a different conversation I had with her, she did indicate that they were in a relationship. So this was somebody that she's, I guess, talking to.
And then speaking with the children, Aaliyah and Zanaya, have they spent time with this man?
Yes, they explained that that they go to the back house with Kia and they go and have dinner sometimes back there with him or watch football. I've verified this with another child that has went over to visit Desmond. He's also indicated having contact with this male. So I've spoken with them about, appropriate and inappropriate contact. The kids haven't mentioned anything at this time that there's any inappropriate contact occurring with this individual.
Does it concern you that during an open CPS legal case that Ms. Johnson has decided to move a recent parolee onto her property?
Yes, ma'am.
And does that also cause you concern for her protective capacity and her ability to identify when things may be inappropriate or possibly unsafe for her children?
Yes, ma'am.
Does it also cause you concern for Ms. Johnson herself?
Yes.
Was there anybody else, or has there been anybody else that Ms. Johnson has moved onto the property or into her home?
Yes, about the same time that I received this information, I was also told that her cousin Heather Brown and her boyfriend were living in the actual, like, the residence with Kia and the two girls. This was after Zanaya and Aaliyah were returned to her care.
And were there any concerns with the boyfriend of Heather?
There was concerns with some criminal history. And when I spoke with them about it, Kia just indicated that they just come and stay the night there. That they weren't there during the day with the girls, they would just come at night. So
Does that still cause you concern?
yes.
Now, in regards to Brandon Rice, do you have any information on what he was in TDCJ for?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
And what was that?
It was for burglary.
Okay. Are Heather and her boyfriend still residing with Miss Johnson?
No, ma'am. She had indicated that they had moved out. I want to say maybe about a few weeks after I had spoken to her about my concerns with them living in the home.
And is Brandon Rice still on the property?
So when I spoke with Kia and I spoke with his parole officer, they'd indicated he would be off of his leg monitor on the 14th and off of parole, which was this last Friday. And she had reported at that time that he would no longer be living there at the residence. My concern with that is when she did attend the visit with the kids on Friday, They had seen her with a hickey on her neck. So I don't know where that came from or who, but it is concerning because she had indicated that he was moving out and that they were no longer in a relationship. So
This is where the case slows down and the obstacles get real. Therapists warn that trauma runs deeper than mom admits, and reunification is nowhere close. Because this reveal hits like a shockwave through the entire hearing.
Do you have any confirmation from Ms. Johnson that Mr. Rice has indeed moved out?
no, other than us speaking about it, no, ma'am.
Okay. And to be fair, have you spoken with Ms. Johnson since Friday?
No.
Okay, so it's possible we have, I'm sorry, he has, but we don't know.
Yes, ma'am.
Other than anger management for Ms. Johnson to work through in her therapy, are there any other services we are asking the court to order?
Just the individual and the family therapy once it's recommended, and the anger management.
And when you say individual therapy, when it's recommended,
Family
that's
therapy.
already in her service plan, correct?
Yes, family.
Excuse me, Ms. Gutierrez, family therapy, not individual therapy.
Okay. Family therapy. Are there any other requests we have for the court today?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now, I believe we've received some information from the mother's attorney that there were concerns about the Miles father, Mr. Miles, maybe having some influence over the children, or at least one child, about whether or not mom wanted her. Can you
Yeah.
give us some details about those concerns?
Yes. So Malaysia, she had actually attended a whole visit, like I said, with Kia virtually on the 7th. And I was monitoring that, and she had told Kia that her dad had said that Kia only wanted Amaya, not her and Ja'Cory. And so Kia had indicated that wasn't true, that she wanted all of the kids, that she would do whatever she needed to have them all back. And so whenever I spoke to Andrew about it, he did indicate that him and his fiance have spoken about the fact that she was willing to leave the other 2 kids there if they didn't want to come home, but that she really wanted Amaya. And so they felt as though maybe the kids had overheard them say that, and that it was taken out of context that she didn't want them, when that's not the case.
Okay, so to your knowledge, this wasn't a conversation that Mr. Miles had directly with any of the children. Is that correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Pass the witness.
All right. Somebody can help me. I'm showing, if I calculated it right, we have a dismissal date of January 23rd.
I think, Your Honor, that this was signed on, let me see, 8/7/2025
Okay.
was that signature date, and it runs 180 days from that date, which I have calculated as
It'd be later.
February. I'm sorry?
No, go ahead. February what?
I think it's February 3rd, 2026.
Okay. I was just going back through my notes. I was counting from the day that I ordered the participation. So, okay. So we're not up to we're not up to the dismissal date yet. So, okay.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Ms. Graff, questions?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Lucero, were you listening, monitoring or listening to that visit on Friday the 14th that mom had with the children, and the therapist was also involved?
No, ma'am.
You were not.
No.
Have you talked to the therapist about what she observed and heard at that visit?
Yes.
Did you hear anything about the children calling the mother by their first name rather than calling her mom?
I didn't hear anything from the therapist, but Kia did text me that today.
Are you concerned that the father is undermining the mother's relationship with the children?
I've never witnessed anything like that and of that nature, but there again, I'm not the worker that goes out to see the family. face to face. There's another worker out there in the area that does. And when I've spoken to them, they've never mentioned anything like that.
Okay, thank you. I will pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Nowak?
I don't have any questions, Judge.
All right. All right, Ms. Gutierrez, anything further from the department?
Judge, I
I'm
had a
sorry, Ms.
couple
Wiggins.
questions.
Sorry, Ms. Wiggins.
That's okay.
Missed
Thank you, Judge.
Missed
Ms. Lucero, in regards to Brandon Rice, did the mother indicate how she had met him?
Yes, she said she had known him for quite some time, that they have previously been in the youth center together when they were younger as kids.
Okay. And in regards to the cousin, Heather Brown, was that the same cousin that was placement of the two old or one of the older children?
Yes, it was for Zanaya and Aaliyah.
Okay. And that was the cousin that allowed Zanaya to be abused by her brother.
Mhm.
Okay.
That happened on her when they were there, yeah.
Okay. And so did we talk to mom about distancing ourselves between this cousin due to the fact that the abuse happened?
Yes, I did talk to her about my concerns with her and the boyfriend living there.
Okay. Do you think it would be a reasonable request to just have the court order that this Heather Brown not reside in the residence during the pendency of this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then in regards to the mom and discussing the abuse or the discipline that mom labeled it about school, did you discuss with her that obviously the two older children cannot, once in a CPS case, cannot be disciplined via anything physical?
I haven't spoken with her about that. No.
Okay. Can you just talk to her about that? 'Cause especially since I guess Anaya is about to start with at Fannin, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do we know why she hasn't started yet?
Aaliyah, you mean?
Aaliyah, I'm sorry, yes.
So prior to us even being involved, there was a lot of bullying going on with Aaliyah. This is what she mentioned to the investigator. She does have a skin condition due to severe allergies. And so they were already kind of looking at doing homeschool. And so whenever we got involved and there was so much movement of the kids being placed elsewhere, they went ahead and moved forward with the online schooling. And so that's why they've continued doing the online schooling. She's kind of talked about it, and I asked her about going back to school, and she said she wasn't sure if she wanted to yet.
Okay. So it's possible if she did go back, it would be Fannin, but right now she's still doing online school.
Yes.
Okay. And is the mother doing well with facilitating that for Aaliyah?
Yes, she has her Chromebook and everything
Okay.
through the program.
Okay, perfect. And when mom discussed disciplining because of school behavior, is that something that is going to be addressed with this anger management class and her individual counseling about appropriate discipline?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. And does mom understand that maybe that the child didn't see that as discipline, that she saw it as abuse at this point?
So I know that that's something that the therapist that's out there with the kids had mentioned, kind of speaking with her about that. Even though she didn't see it as abuse, that these kids they are feeling like it was excessive and that it was abuse.
Okay. And will the anger management class or the individual therapy address appropriate types of discipline and non-physical ways to discipline a child?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any other program that you can think of that addresses that kind of class or anything through probation?
So I had spoken with the therapist she actually works at Family Support Services where they do WAVE. And I asked her about potentially doing WAVE, and she said that Kia wouldn't qualify for that because it is more based on intimate partner violence whenever the female is a perpetrator. And in the situation between Kia and Kevon, Kia was listed as a victim because of all the protective orders and everything that was in place, and because her charge was dropped, that they would not recommend her for that program.
Okay, so at this point, only the individual therapy will be addressing that.
And the therapist was going to do the anger management and talking about the inappropriate and appropriate discipline.
Okay, all right. All right, I'll pass the witness.
All right. Anyone else? Questions for Ms.
Yes,
Lucero?
Your Honor. I have
Go
some
ahead.
follow-up.
Go ahead.
Ms. Lucero, is it correct that one of the children outcried about a tooth being knocked out from being hit by Ms. Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
And which child was that?
Ms. Malaysia.
And did the other children corroborate that story?
Yeah, some of the other kids have talked about it as well.
And is it correct that one of the children also received a bloody nose from Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
And which child was that?
Jacory.
And have the other children talked about that as well?
Yes.
So when we're talking about being disciplined, it sounds like it was excessive discipline. Would you agree?
Yes.
And would you agree that these children have trauma from those experiences?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I pass the witness again, Your Honor.
Anyone else?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Lucero, Ms. Gutierrez brought up a good point. Any type of discipline right now, these kids have experienced trauma and the therapists say that they still need to work on the trauma. It's not unreasonable to think that these kids might consider any kind of discipline abuse because of what they've been through. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Ms. Gutierrez, did you have anything further?
I did, Your Honor. I wanted to see if Ms. Johnson is a part of the hearing still.
Oh, is she gone? Oh yeah, she ended up back in my waiting room.
Okay. And Meredith, I'd like to ask Ms. Johnson just to find out whether or not Brandon is still in the home. Did you want me to call her as a witness or do you prefer to?
Either way, it's fine. I wanted to know that too,
Okay, I'll go ahead and
since
call.
it was supposed to occur on Friday. So
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to ask her that. So yes.
Yeah, I want to know too. So I want to know who's living in the house, whether front house, back house, on the property.
Okay, the department calls Kia Johnson as its witness.
Okay, Ms. Johnson, if you'd unmute, can you hear us?
Yeah, Sam, can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yeah, you need to stay still wherever you're
Okay,
at.
let me get it.
Okay,
So when, give me 1 second. Okay,
all right, raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
yes, sir.
All right, I don't know who's doing it, Ms. Gutierrez or Ms. Graff.
I can start, Your Honor.
Okay.
Ms. Johnson, I understand from the testimony today that there was a Brandon Rice living in your home. Is that correct?
In the home, there's a back house. It's a separate house. He's in
Okay.
the back.
And you're cutting out for me. Let's try it again. So it sounded like you said Brandon Bryce was living in the back house. Is that correct?
Yes, it's separate property. So there's a separate fence, like a privacy fence. It's a separate property. The only reason why they are counting it as one is because my landlord, I guess the bills are all tied together. So the landlord gave me a better price for renting them both, so she didn't have to deal with the bills part. But it's a separate property.
And in regards to Mr. Rice, is he still living in that back house?
No, ma'am. He moved out as far as the 14th whenever he got off of his leg monitor.
Okay. What adults are living in the home with you at this time?
Just myself.
And are Aaliyah and Zanaya the only children that are back in the home with you at this time?
Yes. And Junior or Desmond, he comes as on the weekends or whatever days he wants.
Okay, so just to clarify, it's just you and the two girls living in that home right now, correct?
Yes.
Okay, pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, anyone else have questions for Ms. Johnson? All right then, Ms. Gutierrez, anything else from the department?
Nothing else from the department. We rest. I do show that dismissal date as February 3rd of 2026. So we're asking for a hearing just a little before then.
Yeah, you can be thinking about it. I thought the same thing. I've got January 26th or February 2nd, so y'all be thinking about that.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Graff, did you have any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor. I think that the information that we've conveyed is regarding our concerns about Mr. Miles have been expressed both to Ms. Lucero, and the court has heard us this morning. We'd like Ms. Lucero to keep an eye on this because it appears that from her testimony that both of the two girls in Mr. Miles' home would like to return home to mom. So we'd like to work toward that goal as soon as possible.
Okay. All right. Mr. Nowak, did you have any witnesses?
No witnesses. Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Wiggins?
I have no witnesses, Judge.
All right, then, Mr. Nowak, your recommendations as guardian ad litem for the children?
Yes, sir. Continue the placements, continue services. With Odyssey, who's living with grandma, but she wants to visit mom on weekends, do what we can to support that in a safe manner, obviously. With the Miles children, I believe the therapist recommended family counseling before reunification on the ones that aren't reunified, Judge. I would recommend that. Recommend mom's anger management. And with respect to, I understand that Brandon Wright is off the property. I get it. It's a second house, but I'd like the court to order that, no new adults in the house without court approval, whether it's the house or on the property. And the concerning thing is this guy's a felon.
Yeah.
Same with the cousin and the cousin's boyfriend. There's just too many moving parts with all these different kids, Judge. I think we need to make it simple for the children.
I agree.
Those are my recommendations, Judge. I think I hit everything. I did.
I
Thank
think
you,
did.
Judge.
Okay. All right.
Your
Then.
Honor,
What? Who's talking?
Yeah,
Your
Everybody-
Honor, it's Miss Graff.
Wait, let's stop. Ms.
Sorry.
Graff, you first, and then Ms. Johnson. You're both talking, and I can't hear either one of you. Ms. Graff, what were you saying?
I was saying my client is in agreement that we do family counseling. She mentioned that to me recently, and
Okay.
she's in agreement, would like to start that as soon as possible.
All right. Ms. Johnson, you were saying something. I couldn't hear you.
I don't understand what we're going from here. Like, what are the goals for me to get my babies back?
Well, that's what we're doing. You've still got, they're recommending family counseling when it's recommended by your therapist. They're recommending you do anger management through your therapist. So there's some things you still need to do to get your babies back. So, and I'm getting ready to order what you have to do. So.
Okay, can I mention that with the children, like, first of all, they were in tears even me leaving from seeing them Friday. I do have to say that they're like breaking down. It's hard for my kids at home as well. And also, I haven't had any anger. Like, I can take it because I'll do whatever I need to do. But I haven't had any anger issues. And then also, like, for them to come home and be able to do family counseling with us as a family, I feel like that would be very beneficial. I don't want to let the case go because I feel like, one, they help pay for the counseling, and that's something I would love. My kids haven't expressed anything as far as them not wanting to be home. I know in the CPS investigation.
Okay, listen, I've heard all I need to. You've got to take some responsibility for why these kids are suffered trauma. So,
yes, I do, and that's why I feel like the counseling would be so beneficial.
Okay, well, I'm getting ready. Once again, I'm getting ready to tell you what you have to do to get your babies home. So,
I've done so much.
I've heard all I need to hear, Ms. Johnson. All right, I'm going to order that Ms. Johnson continue to work the services that were previously ordered and that she will complete anger management through her current individual therapist. I'm going to order that family therapy will begin when recommended by the children's therapist. I'm going to order that no one reside in either of these two residences other than Miss Johnson and any of her children that have been returned to her. Mr. Nowak was right. We got way too many moving people around here. And the whole emphasis of this case should be on the children and not on other adults in and out of that house or the back house, especially when we've got felons involved. So no one's to live on the property other than Miss Johnson and her children that have been returned to her by the court. All right, back to our next hearing. I gave you January 26th or February 3rd. When do you want the compliance hearing?
Elaine,
Yes.
is either of those two dates better for you?
Either is fine with us.
Anybody have a scheduling conflict that you're aware of? I mean,
I don't have a conflict, but I just feel like given how close the second date is to the dismissal, I think the January 26th, if nobody has a conflict, would be the best date.
I'm better
I
with that.
agree.
'Cause my math's not really good, so I'm better with building in a little fudge factor there. So, all right, we will have our next compliance hearing on January 26, 2026.
This is the moment where the truth becomes impossible to soften. Bloody noses, knocked out teeth, and the kid's trauma force the court to confront the damage. Because mom steps in and the judge pushes for straight answers. Her explanations fall apart fast, and the judge's final orders leave no room for excuses. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you in the next video.